Trustees of the Aldine Independent School District. The ethics statement will be read by Mr. Mead.
The board has adopted an ethics statement that affirms our commitment to ethical conduct. The statement is, the Board of Trustees is committed to and shall perform its duties ethically and according to our core beliefs. We will model the highest standards of conduct. We will ensure that no personal value system or personal goal interferes with our duty as public service. The public interest shall be the principle which guides the board in its deliberation and decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Mead. I'm having difficulty with my voice, so some of the larger sections of this script, I've asked the Assistant Vice President, Ms. Avalos, to read some of the sections. So, Ms. Avalos, thank you.
We extend a warm welcome to everyone present and are pleased that you joined us tonight as we celebrate the achievements, review information, and make policy decisions related to the effective operation of the Aldine School District. I would like to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy schedules to be with us tonight. Let the minutes reflect that all board members are present, with the exception of Anne Bourgeois. I see we've got visitors in the audience tonight, and if you have comments that you would like to make to the board and have not filled out the audience participation form in the brochure next to the agenda books outside, please do so at this time and give it to Mrs. Loera. The board will listen under item number 18 on the agenda, open forum for patrons desiring to be heard.
Thank you, Ms. Avalos. Before we continue with the rest of the items on the agenda, at this time, we will have the swearing in of our elected board members. There was an election in November. And our returning board members, Ms. Kay DeWalt, will administer the oath of office. Do they all, do you want them all? But all four of you, would you please step down so that you'll be ready? And for those of you that are hearing that alert, there is an Amber Alert for a missing child. It happens to be in our area. It's one of our students, actually. So if you'll, that's what that sound will be, if we hear it again.
Oh, okay. You want me to sing it? She's gone to get the oath. They don't have the oath. So we could go ahead and approve the minutes if you want to do that.
They're all down there.
Why don't we just go ahead and approve the minutes?
While we're waiting, item number 6 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Do we have a motion?
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting on November the 14th, the minutes of the canvass of election on November the 28th, and the minutes of the special call meeting and executive session on November 28th, 2017 be approved as printed.
Is there a second?
Ms. Avalos? Thank you.
We'll begin the vote with Dr. Booker.
Booker, yes.
Shanklin, yes.
Garcia, yes. So for the record, all board members voted yes for approval of the minutes.
Ms. Avalos will be first. Repeat your name. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the, let's start over. Raise your right hand. There we go. There we go. All right. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Aldine ISD Board of Education Trustee, Position 3, of the state of Texas, will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Thank you. The next is Dr. Booker. In the name, raise your right hand. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, say your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Aldine ISD Board of Education, Trustee, Position 6, of the state of Texas, and will do the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of the state of Texas. So help me God. Congratulations. Repeat after me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I
Conception Esparza,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Aldine ISD Board of Education,
of the office of Aldine ISD Board of Education,
Trustee, Position 4,
Trustee, Position 4
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
protect,
protect, and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Repeat after me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I
Steve Meade,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Aldine ISD Board of Education, Trustee, Position 5, of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations. We made it through.
Congratulations to the four of you. The next item on the agenda is the academic report to be given by Dr. Sarah Tomey.
How interesting. That was hard. Good evening, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, and members of the board. Aldine held the district academic decathlon event on November 11th. This is a scrimmage to help all academic teams train for the regional competition. All 7 large high schools participated in the competition. First placement to Davis High School, Victory Early College High School took 2nd place, and Eisenhower High School placed 3rd. The regional competition is January 19th and 20th at Klein Oak High School. And I would encourage you to come to the award ceremony on that Saturday night if you're free. District History Fair was held Friday, December 8th at the Child Nutrition Building and the Aldine Education Center. A total of 29 campuses and 585 students in grades 6 through 12 participated in the History Fair. The History Fair consists of both individual and group projects using a variety of genres, including websites, papers, and performances. Students who place 1st and 2nd will move to the Regional History Fair. The I Write Literacy nonprofit organization offers students in grades 3 to 12 the opportunity to submit short stories, poetry, and artwork to the annual publishing contest, I Write Short Stories by Kids for Kids. Each year, the nonprofit selects 65 winners to be published in the anthology. Juana Garcia from Carver High School has her artwork featured on the cover of the anthology, and her short story is included in the publication. And finally, a student at MacArthur, Jeffrey Chaidez, was selected as a member of the All-State Band. Jeffrey is a percussionist and will play the drum set in the All-State Band performance at TMEA in February. This concludes the academic report for December 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Cho. Mr. Mead, do we have any correspondence to be read tonight?
Madam President, we have no correspondence to be read tonight.
The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the program by Mr. Abel Garza.
Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, members of the board. Before we begin with our recognitions, I would like to call up Michael Ann Kelly, Director of Visual Arts. Michael Ann will talk about the artwork that was on display out in the, outside, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson. I wanted to thank you for allowing us to put our elementary art on display this month. And if very telling, one of the students, their wish is for every child to have a happy childhood. And I think that's something that we all wish for during this time. My second thing is I want to personally invite you all on January 11th to see a much larger sampling of our Western artwork, our rodeo. We will have 650 pieces up at the MOC foyer on January 11th, and we will be have all our ribbons and everything by then. So exciting. So thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Ann. Dr. Garcia, would like to ask for your permission and move the program section to the front before our monthly recognitions. Our program will be introduced by Colleen Riddle, Director of Music Education.
Good plan.
Appreciate it, guys. Oh, and Refugio Rodriguez is also here.
And Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, members of the board, and ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rodriguez and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to showcase our Performing Arts Department tonight. And in Performing Arts, this has been an incredibly busy time of year, with most of our schools performing 3 and 4 concerts per holiday season. We literally perform hundreds of festive presentations all over Aldine ISD and the Houston area in December. Besides performing at their school concerts, many choirs and instrumental groups have performed these last 2 weeks at the Donaldson Administration Building and the Dr. Wanda Bamberg Resource and Staff Development Center. Our students have had much success this semester, including our high school band and choir students who have advanced in the all-state competitions. We have more than ever this year. And the final competition that will determine all state status will take place at the area competitions throughout the state of Texas on January 13th, 2018. Performing for you in the lobby before our board meeting was the Davis High School Varsity Choir that you see before you, directed by Mr. Darrell Freeman. They will also be performing for you as part of our performing arts presentation. The Davis High School Varsity Choir has continued to earn outstanding awards throughout Houston and the state of Texas, and they have most recently been invited as the only high school choir this year to perform with the Houston Chamber Choir, January 28th at South Main Baptist Church at 4 o'clock if you'd like to go. And I want to add that the Aldine Children's Honor Choir was the elementary choir selected to perform at that same concert this year. So this is quite an honor for Aldine ISD. Mr. Rodriguez?
Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, members of the board, thank you for allowing us, Ms. Riddle and myself, to be servants of the school district and the performing arts. It is a great joy to come to work every day and enjoy the fruits of the hard work that our students and our teachers put out every day. And it's a great joy to come to work and listen to the great performances that our students put forth. Thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Davis High School Varsity Choir.
King Jesus, mighty counselor, King Emmanuel, mighty God, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Happy holiday.
And that concludes our presentation for tonight.
Ladies, incredible.
That was beautiful.
Yes, it was. Wow.
So good.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
Yes, it was.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Wow. And it was going to be a sing-off competition between them and the board, but we'll just go ahead and let them.
I'll pass.
They win. They win, yeah.
Oh. Another great job by Mr. Freeman and Colleen and Refugio. We thank them again. Now I would like to continue with our monthly recognitions. First, I would like to call up Akila Willery, Executive Director of Instructional Technology. She will recognize the TCCA Committee and the Aldine Broadcast Network. Akila. Akila, she's outside. She followed instructions, she stayed outside. We're gonna move up on the agenda here while they track them down. Those tech people are just hard to keep a track of. Next, let me call up Dr. Jill Metcalf, Executive Director of Transportation. She will announce her employees of the month.
Good evening, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, members of the board. Here tonight to recognize our Employee of the Month for Transportation, Maritza Rodriguez. Maritza, if you'll stand. Maritza's been with the department for 16 years as a driver. She was promoted and moved into a supervisor driver role, and she also leads our evacuation and safety drills. Come on down.
So somebody yelled out faulty Chromebook and they all came running. So, Akila, come up.
Good evening. We are recognizing the members of the Technology and Curriculum Conference of Aldine Committee. They include Bradley Kaplan, Rita Singletary, Jamie Cooper, Jamila Ashmead Brown, Shayna Glass, Sarah Moore, Justin Phineas, and the chairperson is Bradford Harris. They are responsible for planning what has become the largest free educational technology conference in Texas, and it is housed right here in Aldine. And we are also recognizing Bradford Harris. Aside from his duties with TCCA, we received notification just a week ago that he has been nominated and is a finalist for the State Instructional Technology Specialist of the Year. He will not find out until February at the conference. The next team we want to recognize is the Aldine Broadcast Network team. They include Meredith McCune, Ruby Lopez, and Joshua Hicks. and also Bradley Kaplan, who walked away before he should have. The Aldine Broadcast Network team is responsible for creating multimedia professional development for different groups around the district. They also launched their own channel this year, and they provide this service for all the content areas and different departments. Thank you.
Thank you, Keela. Next, Dana Sheffield, Executive Director of Child Nutrition, will announce her Team of the Month.
Excuse me. Good evening, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, and members of the board. It is a pleasure to announce our Team of the Month for November, the Child Nutrition Menu Team. This team includes dietitian Kaisha Molinar, nutritionist Jennifer Earthley, chef Steve Chrysler, quality control trainer Judy Benavides, and clerical support Pasua Whitehurst. Their responsibility and effort in planning menus is enormous and complex. Nutrition requirements, procurement of food, recipe development, taste testing, student satisfaction, marketing, merchandising, and training all make up the elements of menu planning before meals are even served. Child Nutrition has 10 to 12 different menus on a daily basis for various grade levels to meet school needs throughout the district. Each one of these team members has a vital role in the menu process, and they go above and beyond to not only meet requirements, but also to include creativity, variety, and interest. Quality, appealing, and acceptable food is always a priority and determines student meal participation. Support for each cafeteria manager and staff is crucial on a daily basis in order to achieve menu success, and this outstanding team demonstrates involvement, dedication, and commitment for all schools. Congratulations to the menu team.
Thank you, Dana, and your team. Next, Edmilo Ortiz, Executive Director of Buildings and Properties, will announce the Building of the Month.
All right, good evening. You're just saying hi? Okay. Good evening, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, members of the board, and all in attendance. It is my pleasure to be here before you to present Buildings and Properties Building of the Month for December. At this time, I would like to have Teresa Jefferson, head custodian, and Everett Taylor, principal of Stovall Academy, if they would join me at the podium, please. All right, thank you. Now, Stovall Academy is preparing for the transition, as everyone knows, of becoming a pre-K and kindergarten campus. Paving the way and ensuring Stovall Academy will be looking its best is Ms. Jefferson and her custodial team. Through hard work and communication, Stovall Academy is excelling and looking great while doing it. Teresa Jefferson has worked as a custodian in Aldine for 15 years, and 4 of those years as a head custodian. We thank Ms. Jefferson and Mr. Taylor for their leadership. On behalf of Buildings and Property, it is my pleasure to present Stovall Academy with the Building of the Month for December. Congratulations to both of you on a job very well done.
please? Would you tell Mr. Kennable to check his text messages, please? Thank you.
Finally, Stacy Smith, Program Director, Resource Development, has a special presentation for us. Stacy.
Would you like to assist? Sure. Okay, thank you. Pass those out. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Good evening, President Garcia, board members, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, administrative leadership, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here this evening to report on recent grant awards. As I call your name, will you please come forward? Jennifer Crawford, principal of Aldine 9th grade, and Veronica Johnson. Latonia Amerson, principal of Eisenhower High School, and Christina Musacia. Kim Court Jenkins, principal of Kajawa Elementary, and Jocelyn Gregory. Dan Delgado, principal of MacArthur 9th grade, and Dorothy Allen. Constance White, principal of Raymond Academy, and Christopher Dykes. Oh, please stay. Please stay. Yes. Oh, okay. We'll get the screen raised so we can see it right. Pardon me, sorry. Constance White, principal of Raymond Academy, and Christopher Dykes, Ashley Grodecki, Ashley Zuniga, Tara Patton, and Deborah Ludkenhaus. And Dana Baker, principal of Wilson Intermediate, and Eleonora Davila, Monica Leja, and Tina Chambers. Thank you. You're doing great. You're doing great. Thank you. So the group before you has received funding for multiple projects, and I'll start with Veronica, who is going to be having a storyboard project at her campus. Christina Musacia is going to be rolling into literacy. Jocelyn Gregory is Oh, the Places You'll Go. And Dorothy Allen at MacArthur 9th grade was awarded 2 projects for her makerspace over at MacArthur 9th grade. And then Christopher Dykes is going to have a physical fitness project, which we'll all be attending after we make our New Year's resolutions. Ashley Grodecki, she has 2 projects that she got funded, First Grade Geniuses and Whispering Reading Champs. Ashley also partnered with Deborah from her campus, and they were awarded $2,500 in classroom books from First Books. And then Ashley Zuniga is, her project is Spanish is the New English. Tara's project is Coding and Digital Apps, and Eleonora is going to be having an English Language Learners project at her campus. Monica is going to create math interactive notebooks, and Tina is going to have a hands-on math project. So all the teachers before you received over $16,000 in funding from Donors Choose, and then we also had $2,500 from First Books for their classroom books. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you.
We need to get up front.
And next, I'm going to be showing some slides from our Aldine Education Foundation Innovative Teaching Grants. So the slides you're going to see are the different campuses, individuals, and teams that were awarded projects for the 2017-2018 year. For Aldine Middle Schools, we have Mabel Holt and Peggy Tommy, who
received $720 to do a master in writing through virtual reality. Then our visual arts department, Dr. Michael Ann Kelly and Tawanya Collier are going to be having a parallel inspiration and investigation. They were awarded $3,140. At Aldine ninth grade, we have Joseph Baker and Tiffany Sims were awarded $7,465 for their digital media and printmaking. At Black Elementary, we have Hillary Volkman, who was awarded $1,496 for building a bridge to connect students to STEAM. At Davis High School, Chelsea Davis Bibb, Brad Kaplan, and Nicholas Williamson were awarded $7,441 for their Lights, Camera, Action project. And at Dunn Elementary, Ana Maria Hernandez, Robert Acosta, Yanira Melendez, Jonathan Wyndham, and Kim Litwin were awarded $6,000 for traveling the world through reading. At Gray Elementary, Kim Boculon and Anna Rodarte were awarded $5,705 for awesome learners exposed to their futures. At Keeble ECPK, very cute little ones right there, Sonia Stapleton, Marianne Eklund, Melissa Smith, Nicole Ginkanawa, and Sarah Perez were awarded $6,342 for Listen to the Learning. At Lewis Middle School, Jeff Tiener and Stephen Jones were awarded $4,856 for their Technology Initiative 2017. At MacArthur High School, Eva Lonxos and Ruth Wells were awarded $1,500 for My American Dream. At McGrill Elementary, Marie Clay, Michelle Bonds, Elaine Caraway, Charlotte Wynn, and Eva Lira were awarded $6,880 for their Power Mindcrafters project. Kids are really excited. And at Nimitz High School, this was actually a partnership with Nimitz High School and Aldine High School. David Erickson and Thomas Tolson were collaborating to support their VEX robotics programming, and they received $7,490 for their project. And at Nimitz ninth grade, Karen Caldwell received $1,234 for her Trashion show. And if that doesn't strike your interest, you got to come see the fashion show and see what it's all about. And that concludes our PowerPoint. And at this time, the awardees are going to come in. So as we get them to the front, if you will give them thunderous applause. Thank you, Mr. Knippel, for your help with that. If you'll please come to the front. We'll probably have to make 2 rows, so if we can get her card. Okay. Now, can we?
We're gonna have to do a third line.
Yeah, we'll have to do a third line. So maybe really tall people towards the back. Okay, thank you.
Get in there.
Hello.
Can we get some more on your end, on this side?
Chair.
Thank you and congratulations.
I don't know, she got her hair kind of up great, and she's walking over to the right. She's got on a maroon top, headed back in that direction.
Boy, good news.
She's got kind of, she'll go back there with Derek in just a minute.
And the total for this evening is $76,686. Thank you.
Madam President, that completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you.
The board has had the consent agenda items in their possession for study and discussed them at length in the study session last night. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the consent agenda items to be voted on by the board tonight?
Thank you, Ms. Avalos. If not, do I hear a motion regarding the consent agenda items?
I move that all items under A through J on the consent agenda be approved as printed.
Madam President, I second the motion.
Okay, Mr. Shanklin, thank you. We'll begin the vote with Mrs. Esparza.
Esparza, yes.
Mead, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Yes?
Shanklin, yes.
Booker, yes.
Thank you. Next item is the report of the administrative staff. Dr. Bamberg, do you have staff recognitions tonight?
Yes, ma'am. We have 3 recognitions. We'll start with Mr. Timothy Stanley. If you'll please stand. There you are. He is moving from his current position of Instructional Technology Specialist at Hall Center for Education to Assistant Principal at Hall Center for Education. Mr. Stanley has a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Economics from Iowa State University, which he received in 1988, a Master of Arts in Political Science, which he received also from Iowa State University. He received that in 1992. And he has served his entire career in Aldine ISD and actually began one of the rare people to stay in one facility. He started as a teacher in 1994 as at Hall Center for Education. So he has been with the district for 23 years, and that makes up his entire experience. So he is truly an Aldineite once he got here from Iowa. Got here as fast as you could. So, Mr. Stanley, did you bring anyone to introduce to us tonight?
Building principal, Ms. Ross, is here. My wife was unable to come due to hospitalization.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, but you were good. You were smart to recognize your principal tonight. We appreciate that, and thank you, Ms. Ross, for being here. Mr. Stanley, congratulations to you, and I wish you the best in your new role. Next, I'd like to recognize Dre Thompson, who is moving from his current position as Director of Athletic Services at MOC Athletics Department to Director of Athletics. Mr. Thompson has a Bachelor of Science in Human Performance, which he received from Texas Southern University in 1994, a Master of Education in Administration, which he received from Grand Canyon University in 2011. Now, as I'm reading, there seem to be some people spilling into the boardroom. So there we go. Some people here who are ready to recognize you, Mr. Thompson. But he started his position in 1994 as a teacher coach at Hastings High School in Alief ISD. He also worked as a teacher and coach in Fort Bend ISD from 1996 to 2002 in different positions as a teacher coach first at Krista McAuliffe Middle School, then a teacher coach at Hightower High School, and then the defensive coordinator for Marshall High School, also in Fort Bend, and left that position in 2002. Then went back to Hastings in Alief as a teacher coach from 2002 to 2004. And then finally made his way to Aldine in 2004 as a teacher and coach at Eisenhower ninth grade school, and then moved into the defensive coordinator position at Eisenhower in 2007. And from that position in 2010, moved into the head football coach, which he stayed in that position to 2013 before moving into his current position as the director of athletic services. So, Mr. Thompson has 22 years of experience total in the field of education, and 13 of those years are in Aldine ISD. And did you bring anyone, congratulations first, and did you bring anyone that you would like to recognize or introduce to us tonight?
Yes, ma'am. I have a few people there.
All right, this will be a test. Okay.
My
wife, Andrea, she's actually been front of school board. This is the third time. So she's enjoying it. I wanted to do a little mini history of my career in Aldine. I want to start off with Mr. Delgado. He was my first opportunity to be an athletic administrator. Mr. Samuels, he gave me my first opportunity to be a head football coach. Mr. Wade, he actually is the reason I'm in Aldine. He recruited me, and I'm very appreciative of him and looking forward to the partnership with the World Series Astros as we continue that. Sandy Maynard, Director of Athletic Services. Mr. Mel McGowan, he was actually my first principal coming to Aldine. He and Ms. Mack. Then Mr. Murph, he was my first evaluator. So have some special people. If I just get the coaches to stand, I can't say everybody's name, but if I get you guys and ladies to stand. Thank you and acknowledge this group because they will be the reason this ship runs, and we're going to be focused and accountable. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And just so you all know, I will not be asking you to come into my office so I can give you some play advice or anything like that. Just rest assured, that will not happen. I know that makes Dr. Blanson feel better, too. And last but not least, we would like to recognize Kimberly Jenkins. Ms. Jenkins, I saw you earlier. There you are. And as she has moved from her former position as assistant principal at Cajava Elementary to principal of Cajava Elementary, she has a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education that she received in 1999 from Western Illinois University, a Master of Education in Educational Administration from Sam Houston State University, which she received in 2010. And she also has all of her experience in Aldine ISD. She started in the year 2000 as a Head Start pre-K teacher at Hall, Smith, and Vines from 2000 to 2003, and then became a second grade teacher at Cajava from 2003 to 2005. Then she moved over to fourth grade at Cajava Elementary in 2005 to 2007, and then became the IB coordinator from 2007 to 2013 before moving into her role as assistant principal. So Ms. Jenkins has 18 years of experience with all of those years in Aldine ISD. And so congratulations to you in your new position. And did you bring someone to introduce to us tonight?
Sure did. I have Team Kim here tonight. I have my husband, Shane Jenkins, my stepdaughter, Morgan, my sister-in-law, Jessica Court, my littlest supporter, Thomas Court, my brother, Scott Court, and my friend and colleague, Melinda Camp, and my writing skills specialist, Tristan Gregory, and of course, Dr. Janet Ray, my assistant superintendent, and I know Deborah Thomas is smiling down on us tonight.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
All my Aldine people.
Yes. All your Aldine peeps. Yeah. Thank you. Congratulations to all of our people being in their new positions, and we want to provide a lot of support for you and wish you the best in your new roles. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper. Ms. Apples.
In November, the board announced that we will hire a search firm to assist in the selection of a new superintendent. Since that time, the board posted a request for proposals, then reviewed proposals from 6 search firms and met with 4 firms for presentations. The board reviewed all information last night and has approved Thompson & Horton as a consulting firm to assist in the superintendent search. Our work with Thompson & Horton will begin immediately. So immediately will be after this meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Avalos. We have board committee reports. Mr. Shankly.
We have the following policy revisions at this time. Policy Update 109 affecting local policies. BBE, CDA, CKC, CNA, CO, DF, DH, EHBAF, EJ, FEA, FAA, FFF, FFI, GBAA, GKA, GKC, and GKE. All of this is because the legislature did something in the 80s with the legislature. I have no idea what those numbers mean. I move that the board approve the first reading of the policy update 109 affecting local policies as stated above.
Madam President, I second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mead and Mr. Shanklin. We'll begin the vote with Ms. Esparza.
Esparza, yes.
Mead, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Avalos, yes.
Shanklin, yes.
Booker, yes.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of school names. The chair recognizes Mr. Paul Shanklin, Chair of the School Names Committee.
The School Names Committee is comprised of Dr. Kim Booker, Ms. Patricia Bourgeois, and myself. The committee would like to recommend the following names for 4 campuses. Individual board members who will read the bios for the honorees.
The first school, Lou Bardeman, was a longtime resident and employee of Aldine Independent School District. She served 46 years before she retired in January 2000. Ms. Bardeman was a teacher and assistant principal before becoming the primary language arts program director. In that role, she trained teachers and facilitated curriculum writing and textbook selection with numerous teachers. Ms. Bardeman was instrumental in developing Aldine's pre-kindergarten program. She worked to equip our first early childhood pre-K centers like Hinojosa. Ms. Bardeman worked closely with the elementary principals to ensure that our youngest students were getting a great start in Aldine. Ms. Bardeman was known across the state as a language arts expert with her close friend and co-workers, Pat Stevens, who was the elementary language arts program director. Together, they developed training sessions, invited nationally known speakers to Aldine, and they were both instrumental in writing the grant in the early 1990s that began the Magnet program. Ms. Bardeman lived in the community on Chrisman Road for many years. Her niece, Nita Preslin, and her husband, Pat, also worked for Aldine ISD. It is my honor to name the new early childhood pre-K kindergarten campus on Lauder Road for Lou Bardeman.
Thank you, Mrs. Esparza. I understand that Ms. Bardeman's family is here. If you would please stand if you have any words that you would like to share.
It means a lot to us. We saw her work relentlessly. As a matter of fact, there was one night she was at the resource center at 11 o'clock. I called and called and called, and we live in Crosby, and she didn't answer, so I drove over there to see where she was. And she worked Saturdays, and nobody loved kids more than she did.
She spent the night a couple of times too, when the grant was, she was working on the grant. Yes.
She was an awesome lady.
Yes. Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Steve Mead was elected to position 5 seat in 2004. Mr. Mead, a graduate of Aldine Senior High School, has lived and worked in the MacArthur community for more than 50 years. Mr. Mead is the owner of Components Sales and Service, a geotechnical lab equipment company which is located in the Aldine community. Mr. Mead has been active in a number of civic organizations, serving on the boards of the Aldine Youth, the Aldine Newton Optimist Club, the Aldine Sponsorship Foundation, and the Aldine Improvement District. Mr. Mead is known throughout the community for his service and generosity. He personally volunteers with many organizations that support causes in the Aldine area. Each year, the Aldine Noon Optimist Club donates bicycles for children at each Aldine elementary school, and they donate food to many families at Thanksgiving. Mr. Mead attends many sports and events in the community and the district. Mr. Mead and his wife Jill have 3 daughters, all of whom attended Aldine ISD schools and graduated from MacArthur Senior High. His daughter April currently serves as dyslexia specialist at Mendel Elementary. The new middle school on Lauder Road is a part of the community that Mr. Mead has served, so it is appropriate that this new middle school should bear his name. Mr. Mead.
Well, I'd like for my family to stand that's recognizing me tonight.
Just a few.
My wife Jill, my daughter April, the teacher at Mendel, Sydney, Madison, Skylar, Donna, my grandson Stephen, who teaches in HISD, my daughter Kathy, who runs their office for me, and I got my guy that worked for me, Andre.
Working for Steve for 30 years will be this year, and he also got me from the half-a-day program from
MacArthur High School. He's been with me since then, okay?
That's great.
My son-in-law Tom, and my son-in-law Mark, okay? I did make some notes here where y'all can see how kind of old I am and how long I've been in the area. So I'll just read this real quick if you don't mind. First, I want to thank the board for the honor of having a school named for me. I have to first say I've never been a teacher, I've never been a counselor or any position in the school, but I've been involved with many aspects of the community. I've lived in the Aldine community since I was 3 years old. I started my education in the first grade at Orange Grove High School. They had their 70th anniversary the other night, okay? They were 4 years old when I started there, okay? My teacher there was Miss Terrell. I loved her a lot. And my principal was Mary Stevens, who we named Stevens Elementary after. And I attended Francis Elementary in the 5th, 6th grade, and guess what? My principal was W.W. Thorne, so that takes me back a long way. And then I went to Aldine Middle School, and my principal was Mr. Payne. I'm not sure who my principal was in high school. We had a couple of them, but I graduated from Aldine High School. That was the only high school we had in the day. I got my college degree from University of Houston, and I do have 3 daughters, and that's Kathy, Don, and April. I do practice what I preach. I love Lone Star College and North Harris College. My daughters all went to North Harris College, and they all graduated from the University of Houston. And my first venture with other people's children was my youngest daughter, April, played baseball on an all-boys baseball team. And from that transition, I started coaching and coached for about 4 to 5 years and became vice president of the league. My wife, Jill, and I was very involved with the MacArthur drill team, and I was president of the Booster Club for about 5 years. And then I met Sylvia Bowling of Aldine Youth during the lean years when we were trying to pay off the building. And I worked for her, and I was president of that group for about 5 years. I was appointed by Jerry Eversole to the Aldine Fire Department and served around 4 years as president. Representative Kevin Bailey picked me to be one of the first board members of the East Aldine Management District. What a great organization. I served several years and decided I could do more for the entire Aldine District as a board member. I lost my first election. But with mentors like A.W. Jones, Rick Ogden, and the other board members, I finally got on the board and have served around 14 years and just got elected to another 4 years. Of course, I had to give up my position in the fire department and the East Aldine Management District because you can only serve on one taxing board. I've been a member of the Aldine Noon Optimist Club for around 20 years and have been president for at least 18. A great organization that supports children in our district with members such as Stacy Smith, Judy Hoya, Patty Acosta, Jan Wynn, and many more. And I would like to thank my wife, Jill, and my kids, and the other family members. For their understanding of my missing important dates in their lives because of school board functions. I love my Aldine family and will continue to serve to do all I can do to better the education of our children. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Dr. Viola M. Garcia, outgoing school board president, has served on the school board since her appointment to position 7 in 1992 and election in January 1993. She has chaired numerous school board committees and held all 4 board offices. Dr. Garcia was a member of the Project 2000 Committee, the District Level Site-Based Management Committee, and the Campus Planning Committee. Dr. Garcia has always been a visible and active school board member, attending numerous district and community events to visit with the students, parents, and community members. In her role as a professor at the University of Houston downtown, she has promoted Aldine programs and students by training future teachers for local school districts, including Aldine. She has held numerous leadership roles at the college level to advocate for public schools. A master trustee, Dr. Garcia is a member of the Mexican American School Board Members Association and has served as that group's president. She has also served as a regional director, secretary-treasurer, president, and past president of the Texas Association of School Boards. She is now serving at the national level as a regional director for the National School Board Association. Dr. Garcia has 3 daughters who attended Aldine schools and graduated from Eisenhower High Schools. It is fitting that the Aldine School Board acknowledge Dr. Garcia for her 25 years of service to the Aldine community by naming the new West Mount Houston Middle School as the Viola M. Garcia Middle School. Congratulations.
To speak for you?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Booker, for those kind words, and thank you, board members, for your confidence in my work and honoring me in this way. I would like to introduce my husband, Jorge, who's in the back here, my dear colleague and friend, Maureen Jones, former board member. And I just want to say, I'm literally and figuratively speechless. You can hear I can't speak. But I do just want to say that it has been a great honor for me to serve not only on this board, but this opportunity has provided me to understand better the needs of children and to try to be a good role model for these children and to try to take the Aldine story and the wonderful work that occurs in this district, the dedicated staff, the administrators, the teachers, and the wonderful parents who support their children in every way that they can. So it's been my great honor to serve, and I just want to add that Jorge and I have 3 daughters. All 3 are married. 2 are away outside of the city, but I know that part of the reason that Jorge and I are so dedicated to Aldine is because we are, in our families, he's the oldest of 6, I'm the youngest of 3, and all of our siblings live in South Texas. So literally, when we moved into our home, the same little home we've had since 1976, Aldine became a very close-knit community that our daughters engaged in and had very close ties and still have close ties to so many of the dear friends that they've made through Aldine. They have had an excellent education through Aldine and went on to do just beautiful things. And so we're just so fortunate to have landed in Aldine, to have stayed in Aldine, and to have had the good fortune to have met so many wonderful people who are so dedicated to students. And so, board members, again, I thank you sincerely for this great honor, and I will say more probably at the dedication that I'm able to say tonight, but thank you. Thank you.
Have just one more. Mrs. Maureen Jones was appointed to position 1 in February of 2002 and elected in May after retiring from a 38-year career in Aldine ISD. During her years as an educator, she served as a school secretary, teacher, librarian, and counselor. Mrs. Jones is a 37-year resident of the Aldine community. During her 10 years on the board, Mrs. Jones held all 4 board offices and chaired numerous committees. In addition to her service as an Aldine ISD trustee, Ms. Jones serves as a member of the North Harris County Association of Retired School Personnel, has served as president of the Gulf Coast Area Association of School Boards, and is a member of the Hidden Valley Civic Club. She is currently a board member of the Aldine Education Foundation. Mrs. Jones has always had a heart for all children. Over the years, she has unofficially adopted many children who have considered her a mentor and a caring and encouraging friend. Mrs. Jones's daughter, Marcy, attended Aldine schools and now works for the district. Currently, she is an assistant principal at Davis High School. Ms. Jones has dedicated many years of service to Aldine, so the board is pleased to honor her by naming the Townsend Boulevard Middle School after Maureen Jones.
Now, we know this was a real surprise. She thought she was coming to celebrate Mr. Meads and my school names. Do you have words?
Take a picture. Yeah. Are they gonna take pictures?
Board members, you've heard the recommendations from the School Names Committee regarding school names. Do we have a motion?
I move that the board approve the building names as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, we'll begin the vote with Dr. Booker.
Yes.
Shanklin, yes.
Avalos, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Mead, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Ms. Avalos.
Last month in November, the board elected the slate of officers presented by the board nominating committee. The officers are as follows. President, Mr. Steve Mead. Vice President, Mr. Paul Shanklin. Secretary, Rose Avalos. Assistant Secretary, Ms. Connie Esparza. At this point, Dr. Garcia will be passing the gavel to Mr. Mead, and Mr. Mead will close the meeting. And I think she's anxious and ready to do this.
Thank you. I just want to say that I sincerely thank the board members. It's been a very, very busy year for us during this time that I served as president. We had many budget workshops. Aldine is a growing district. There are lots of changes coming. And so in preparation for that, of course, the board has been working hard to do that. So I want to thank the board members for their service with me this year. Thank you. And at this time, Mr. Mead, I have a gavel for you. I believe there is a photo opportunity here. How do you want it? This way? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Well, it's been a pleasure serving with Ms. Garcia, 13 or 14 years. She's a quality.
You want to use the mic here? Let me move. I'll move it myself. Come on, I'll sit over there. Okay.
We'll play musical chairs.
I need to move both hands.
Thank you, Archie. And like I said, it's been a pleasure serving with Ms. Garcia for around 14 years. She is a quality person. She's very experienced in what she does, and it's been a pleasure for all the board members to work with her. So when I was elected president, someone said the other day, "Congratulations," and I said, "I'm not so sure." This is going to be a lot of things are happening in Aldine. A lot of changes are going on, and so we're gonna do a good job for Aldine, and we're going to keep that board cohesive together. We've got good board members that got good ideas and love each other, and we work together real hard, and we're going to continue to do that this year to make Aldine a better district. So we thank all of y'all for being here tonight. There it is. So now we're going to report the training hours. Since 1986, the State Board of Education rule has required the board president to make a public announcement each year of the names of board members who have completed the required continuing education, who have exceeded the required hours, and who are deficient. The rule has required this announcement to be made at the meeting at which the call for election of board members is normally scheduled. All of our board members have exceeded the required board member training hours. The year for meeting continuing education requirements reported each December starts on January the 1st. These hours are from January the 1st, 2017 through December the 8th, 2017. Patricia Bourgeois, position 1, has completed 18.25 hours. Paul Shanklin, position 2, has completed 33.25 hours. Rose Avalos, position 3, has completed 30.5 hours. Connie Esparza, position 4, has completed 43.5 hours. Steve Mead, position 5, has completed 42.5. See, Jill, I did go to training. See, I have been there. Kimberly Booker, position 6, has completed 27.5 hours. And Viola Garcia, position 7, has completed 56.5 hours. Dissemination of the framework for governance leadership. The amendments approved on November the 19th, 2010 requires that the board president annually distribute the framework for governance leadership also known as the Framework for School Board Development, to all current members of the board and the superintendent. Board members and Dr. Bamberg, a copy of the Framework for School Board Development is in your package tonight. So on part 18 now, tonight is the open forum for patrons desiring to be heard, and we have a 3-minute limit. Archie, you be watching the time for me?
Yes, sir.
And we have 3 here. We'll start with, well, let me read for so this is a portion of the board meeting when the board receives input from patrons. Now, each person who addresses the board will have 3 minutes to speak on his or her issue. There's a clock at the podium that will notify you when your 3 minutes are almost up. Because of topic posting requirements of the Open Meeting Act, board members will not answer any questions posed to the board by the patron, and no action can be taken on any issue presented during this time. If you wish to ask questions of the board, you may submit them in writing, addressed to the superintendent's office, and the board may consider them at a subsequent meeting. If you are an employee or employee's representative, please be advised that the grievance policy deadlines are not waived. If you have documents to pass out to the board, please identify those documents. Finally, please be aware that rules of decorum will be enforced during the public comment period. Please refrain from making comment directed at specific individual employees or students by name to avoid any potential breach of confidentiality. If you have complaints regarding specific individuals, please provide those in writing addressed to the superintendent for her attention. Each participant is legally responsible for the content and the consequences of his or her own statements. The first person is Dave, is it
Souter.
Souter.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I want to thank you board members for all of your service and all the good things you do. And on a positive, as positive as this night has been, I hate to bring up a negative subject, or at least from my perspective, a negative subject. Excuse me. I am a father and grandfather of 6 children who have either gone through Aldine or are currently in Aldine. I have 3 grandchildren now in A.W. Jones Elementary, and live in Dibrick Estates. And we were stunned to find out that our children are being rezoned to a school several miles away from us. This has really blindsided our part of the neighborhood. The zoning plan as it is splitting our neighborhood in 2. It's going to hurt our property values, which obviously is going to affect taxation and revenue for the district. I honestly believe that this is an unwise proposal or plan, and I would like to urge the board to take a second look at it. I just think there's not that many kids in our part of the neighborhood, and it really has come as a shock and a surprise. We had no warning this was coming. To our knowledge, there was never a community meeting in our neighborhood, and I had my ear to the ground for such a meeting. So I mean, I come to you really as a shocked and very concerned parent, and a determined parent, that we look at this situation again, and I really respectfully ask that you all take a second look at this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments, sir. Mihul Shah?
Good evening, Dr. Bamberg, Dr. Blanson, and distinguished board members. My name is Mehul Shah from Pathways to Greatness Intervene. I'm here with Aaron McLeod, my business partner. We are a company that specializes in intervention support. We're here today to introduce ourselves and to request an opportunity to do business with your school district. We are approved vendors of the district under RFP 1415-11 and 1415AA. I'm sure you've seen a STAR prep assessment that teachers and interventionists are using to diagnose and intervene when necessary. These assessments are generally multiple choice unit tests, pacing benchmarks, or full-length STAR release assessments with multiple objectives tested, such as the one shown on this board. We provide math assessments aligned to the TEKS for grades 3 to Algebra 1, but we don't just provide these assessments, as we believe the real value of an assessment is how you use it to inform instruction with the results. We help analyze that data to provide teachers with actionable recommendations that are more efficient and effective in helping students grow. When teachers and interventionists receive data on an assessment from most companies, they'll see that it is TEKS driven. The analysis will generally tell teachers in which objectives students are lacking and which objectives students have mastered. We are misconception driven. We go beyond TEKS to find foundational gaps and group students from there. Here's an example of our innovation. Let's say a student named Bob took a 30-question benchmark. The sample item analysis you see on our board shows 5 different questions and 5 different learning objectives. Bob got all of these 5 questions wrong. If we were to only focus on the missed TEKS, we'd set up intervention for the objectives listed at the bottom. The interventionist or teacher would start with the definition of multiplication. We go deeper and find out which choice the student picked and learn more about why the student chose that incorrect response. In this case, the student chose what happened to be a distractor for students who have trouble regrouping when they subtract, and this was chosen 5 times. Next part. So with this data and with limited time, how would you intervene? Would you meet with groups of students on 5 different objectives, or would you tackle the foundational error at hand? Next part. We provide our schools with a 1-page dashboard called Data Dash. It allows teachers to plan their lessons with the right kind of data, the kind of data that will provide value to our educators and help our students in this district grow. We request the opportunity to work with your schools and demo our product to improve math intervention practices from grades 3 to Algebra 1. We thank you for your time and happy holidays.
Thank you, sir. Candy Houston?
Good evening, Mr. Meade. Congratulations on the new position. Dr. Garcia, Dr. Blanson, and the board. I'm before you tonight with 2 upcoming trainings workshops that Texas AFT is doing that I would love to partner with the district on. I think it's important right now with the transition that we continue building, because we've been doing a good job this year in building a positive relationship between the union and the district. And we want to continue that relationship. And part of that, we have 2 trainings coming up that are free. I'm just kind of requesting some facilities. I want to first talk about the trauma training. So Texas AFT and AFT has partnered with the Futures Without Violence to create a training to train the trainer. So we will pick, not we, but you guys and I, will select teacher, a health professional, a paraprofessional to go to this training. It's here in Houston. It will be a 1.5-day training. The cost is free, but what it is that it would teach them about how to understand the traumatic stress response, explain the impact of the traumatic stress response on brains, and then also strategies of helping students. Because of Harvey, there are going to be some long-term effects on students and other traumas, and we want to be able to provide educators the right mindset and the right tools to help those students. So this particular training is to train the trainer. So we can pick some good quality people in our district, some union members, some that are not, to go to this training, to bring it back to the district, to offer it as a staff development to our educators. So if you look at the proposal, it says the target audience, I've already told you that, the cost is free. I'm asking the district for a facility, M.O. Campbell or Dr. Bamberg's new building over there. If we want to host the training in February 2018. Okay, now if you turn it over, I love this one, but I don't really qualify for this one because I'm not an elementary teacher. But this one is the Lego training. So they have the Lego training coming up the week of January the 22nd through the 25th. And the training will teach the teachers how to use Legos to build resiliencies in students. And it's only offered to 50 educators. And they'll receive 2 hours of CPE training, and they will teach them how to use the Legos in their classroom. It's free. We're going to provide everything. I just need a facility. So if you can provide a facility for this training, that would be great. And also, the other request is to either send an email blast out about it or put it on the e-portal. As last night, as one of the board members stated, you guys, there is a culture of bullying and retaliation in the district. Now, it may have been doing for past years, but I am encouraging my members and people that I know that are friends to don't be afraid to speak up. However, that culture is in the district, and in order to address it, we have to acknowledge it. And I think partnering on some things together will start helping that culture, so it's not us against you and you against us. We want to build a partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Houston. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion
I
to
second.
adjourn.
Meeting is adjourned.
We want to take some pictures and then start our next meeting.
I was gonna say, can we wait up there? Can we start in about 5 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to take pictures, yes. This has been a most interesting meeting tonight.
It sure has.
Thank you.
Come in
Yes, but I had their picture made first.
every time, I swear, man.